Hello YouTube, this is MMHCyclone with my fellow comrades here on the Whitestar server, woot woot. And we're going to give you a nice little server tour today. So here we got Kunfusion, the Nighthammer, MMHCyclone, and Sarianas. So yeah.
Confucius say what?
Say what?
I don't get it.
I was just gonna roll with it.
Just gonna roll with it? That is how we do it. Alright, well we're gonna go ahead and get started. And this will be... Hey, cover up my lighting there. We're starting off here in the meeting hall, which is part of our town center. And it is made out of iron blocks and spruce wood with some fancy little lighting. But yeah, this is all because of the iron foundry. Thank you, Tango Tech, for the invention. It is awesome.
I believe it's also broken right now on our server.
Yes, that is correct. When we updated 1.7.4, the villagers decided to all merge, and yeah, things didn't work out too well. So that's going to have to get fixed here pretty soon, but we still got a lot of iron in it, so for now we're doing all right. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Head out of the meeting room. This would be the center of the community center. And as you can see, we're looking to show off the massive amounts of iron that we got out of our foundry. So yeah, town center was made out of iron. And
There's some other rooms in here we should show them too.
Yeah, we got a nice little rule room over here. A nice little green room. Cyclone's leading the way in there, it looks like. And this is where we like to show off our artwork. But here we have all the server rules that we like to play by. Pretty much everyone helps everyone out, all that type of stuff, and everyone has to have fun. That is the most important rule that we have here on our server.
That's a requirement.
That it is a big requirement. Alright, and another room that we have is over here. It's our yellow and orange room. This is actually our map room, which we had to take down all the maps because we were having some entity issues earlier on the server with our monster spawner and these. It was giving us a massive server lag. But right now we have maps that fill out approximately 10 by 10 grid, fully zoomed in. Covers quite a bit of area. Those will be back up and running for our next server tour that we have. But yeah, so that would be our community center. We have a top floor as well, and that's actually how we get up to the iron foundry to do some work on it. We'll head on up that way. Any of these stairways will take you up there. Now I'm gonna let the Nighthammer go ahead and take over from here. He was the one leading the project for the iron foundry, making sure we got it all set up right.
Yep. As opposed to the old iron trench, which was very resource intensive, the iron foundry, it really isn't that hard to build. So I actually built most of the structure in a single day. It is made out of clay and hardened clay and glass, thanks to our other server member Solerei for providing the clay from one of the mesas that he found. I believe for our very first version of this build, we went with the exact same build that is shown in Tango Tech's tutorial video. But I believe, Tsunami, you should be able to simplify the redstone down there a little bit.
Yes, this is true, and we'll end up doing some of that when we go over and reconnect all the doors. We'll end up simplifying some of the redstone down there a little bit. That way it's not as intensive. One of the things I always tend to do is whenever we have a redstone project, I always try to tweak it my own little way and differ it up some.
But yeah, the longest part of this build definitely had to be the glass for our little tube here, so we can watch them drop. And then I forget whose idea it was to put the lights in there on the tripwires, so that there'd be like a nice pulse that goes down as golems drop.
That'd be our same buddy that got us all the clay, actually.
Oh, Solerei. Didn't he also build us our storage towers?
That he did.
Yeah, he's actually contributed a lot. It's a shame that he actually can't be here for the server tour.
Yeah, whenever one of us comes up with a nice build that we want to do, he's always jumping in and helping out any way he can, which is always a good plus.
And usually it's with the part of the build that I like the least, which would be somebody's blowing stuff up now. But that would be the resource gathering. I actually really detest resource gathering. Alright, on to one of the next builds. Like our 4105 sign here.
It's backwards.
The four is backwards.
There we go, that looks better. This is our welcome to 2014 sign. That just so happened to be posted up there when I logged in for the new year. It was a nice little surprise, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't believe we're all entirely sure who built it at this point.
That is true. I don't think anyone knows who built it. Oh, except for the person that built it, obviously.
I snuck on for a while.
Uh-huh, sure you did.
Oh yeah? Well, I built those giant mushrooms.
Yeah, that is true. Kunfusion built giant mushrooms.
Are those legitimate mushrooms?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, go ahead, knock some out.
It's another good thing about this server. We got experienced players, we got some novice players, we have some beginning players. It's a nice mix, so there's always some fun and interesting knowledge to share between us. And
Yeah,
always new ideas.
we got some people that are good at building design, some people that are good with redstone.
Alright, well you all might be wondering what this tunnel is with the green glass in it. This actually is our villager spawner tunnel. And it was actually completely done by mistake, but that little island out there is one chunk out of the spawn zone, which is actually very, very useful. So we actually have the hopper system set up to where if we want to activate it and then leave, we can, and it just continues to run, or we can go over there and deactivate it at will. So that's actually another Tango Tech design.
Special thanks to the ZipCrowd server for figuring out the hopper trick to keeping extra trunks loaded.
Yes, definitely thanks. It has proven to be quite useful for things like this.
Anyone who looks it up and tries it out, I would definitely recommend against keeping a ton of chunks loaded that way, because it'll start taxing your server and the system of your server if one of your players is the server.
So, and as you can see just by looking down below, there's a lot more redstone than in Tango's Tech design, and that's because of a hopper clock system I put on there, and I'll explain that a little bit more once we go over to our automatic chicken cooker, because I can actually get down in there pretty easily and show exactly what I did. But that was moving away from the day-night sensor. So
The day-night sensor is a cool thing unless you like to sleep in a bed like I do when I'm on the server.
exactly. One big thing with the way the game registers ticks is that if everyone goes to sleep and the night passes, whatever ticks would have passed during that time if people didn't sleep are automatically skipped over. So if you put something that'll take a 20-minute cycle and put a day-night sensor on it, it will, and then you go to sleep, it will skip over half of those ticks. So for instance, your chickens won't grow up, or your villagers won't grow up, and you'll end up just killing them off, or it won't process the cycle correctly. So that's why we went with this system. And actually, I'll dig up this area down here. We'll drop down and show ya. So this was the first take that I had, which is why the redstone's quite a mess down here. And it's just two simple 1x1 hopper clock systems that are just over 20 minutes, so that even if everyone goes to sleep and the ticks get skipped over, this will continue the cycle to remain on that right around 20-minute mark. That way we can actually get all of our chickens to grow up and be processed correctly.
Yeah, this works by collecting the eggs and then using a dropper to hatch new chickens, doesn't it?
That is correct. There's actually a 1x2 area, or 1x1x2 tall area that drops into this hopper right here, drops into that dispenser, and once a day it'll go through and empty that thing out until it's completely dry of eggs. As you can see, it's almost full. And as soon as that's done, the hopper clock takes over and it begins to let the chickens grow up, and after that's done, it'll push them through and then they will be processed. And I'll show you that area next. So we'll go into our first community center that we built up right when the server started. We just have a little community storage area down here with some little beginning farmland, our enchanting table. And if we go in the back here, here's our little storage area, and as you can see, we have lots and lots of cooked chicken and lots of feathers. But that's all done by the automatic chicken farm. It just pushes them down a waterway right behind this chest down here at the bottom and lights them on fire with another brick rack that's inside there. You kind of see in the little crack right through there. And yeah, burns them, automatically cooks the chicken, and free food for all.
It's actually really, really efficient, I have found.
Yeah, within about a day
We
of
definitely
backlogged.
do not lag for food. Do you have a disposal built onto that? So anything that the hoppers suck up that they can't process, do you have it so that it exits it out into a cactus anywhere?
Actually, no. Right now, the only thing it'll process is the feathers and chicken, because if anything else gets caught in the path and drops on the fire, it'll destroy it.
Oh, okay.
So it's got a little self-redundancy system in there, which is always nice. All right, well, I think we should take them up and show everyone the mob spawner.
Yeah, there's a particularly evil mob up there now shooting arrows at everyone.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes.
Yeah, I see him. Gotta let the stormtrooper sniper take care of this.
You're just gonna miss.
Such a thing doesn't exist. And trust me, that armor is useless.
And now for the long ride up. And I'm very glad we built in this rail system. Otherwise, it would be a nice trek up all the way up to the top.
Is that a player up there shooting? Yeah, that's a player.
Tried to warn you. She's the devil.
a bit about the original design of the mob system. It's actually the mob pads itself. The original design is Etho's simple mob system from Etho's lab. But we found that once they introduced the baby zombies, that there wasn't a lot of, that it didn't process them correctly. They'd get stuck in the mob evaders. So we had to change the mob evaders up a little bit to get that working properly so that we could get decent rates off of it.
So I'm up here at the top of the mob spawner, and I'm sure some of the other folks are making their way up. As I said, it's a nice long trip. But one of the corrections that we made for the baby zombies is setting up this little lava trap in here, which is fully protected so we can't accidentally fall in, which I did several times when building it. And then each spot that we have a sign for breath spot for the mobs, there's another one, so we have several of them going on the way up.
I just went ahead and turned the spawner on.
Alright. We also put a kill system in here and used tripwire and a suffocation piston to do it. And we have this all set up with a hopper system, and actually under these half slabs that we're standing on is also a bunch of hoppers. That way if anything drops out when because we all know when mobs die they kind of poof their items out. And this will catch absolutely everything and make sure it goes down to our item sorter down below, which we'll show you in a minute.
Oh, I just noticed we have a full enchanting setup up here again.
Yes, yes. I did that quite a while ago, actually.
I haven't been up here in a while.
I actually just spent earlier today, right before our tour, grinding XP so I could start enchanting some more stuff. And while he takes a long way, I'm going to jump down into the water.
I tried, I died.
Well, at least you're good at something.
Shut up.
So then in here in this nice little forest area, we have our mob sorting, or the mob drop sorting area, where we get all the witch sorts, skeleton sorts, and zombie sorts, all that type stuff. Then we have the miscellaneous chest here, and from there we can go ahead and pull out all the armor and self-sort it, and weapons and whatnot over here. That way anyone that wants to come in and get something in particular just goes to the single chest, grabs it. The normal mob or item sorter technique. And I also have a backflow system, so once these hoppers get full, it'll automatically start dispensing items out and dropping them for despawn. And I purposely didn't put it in a cactus, that way if you start losing armor and whatnot, you can just run around to the back and pick it up. I think the last thing we have in the spawn chunks is the marketplace. Oh, and your cobble
Marketplace
generator.
We'll do the cobble generator real quick. Now, this building that the cobble generator in is significant in that it's the first use of stained glass on the server.
That is correct.
And I originally built this because I was having problems with having enough resources, because I hate gathering resources. I was having a problem with having enough resources to build the mob spawner. So I did get this off of YouTube. I would credit the original creator, but I cannot for the life of me remember who that is. But what it uses is water and lava to generate the cobblestone, and then there's a simple redstone circuit attached to a pair of bud switches, so that whenever you break one of these blocks, it updates and creates more cobble. So you could just stand here with your finger on the mouse or something else and mine some cobble.
It's actually quite useful if you don't feel like going down and mining.
Although, of course, one day, because the bud switches are actually an exploit, one day they're going to fix out the bud switches, and we're going to have to figure out how to make the cobblestone generator again.
I'm back. And the marketplace. We'll have to all sneak in there pretty quick to make sure zombies don't follow us in.
Alright, go.
Alright, just the normal villager marketplace here. I think I got all this built up in one day, something like that. And this is, again, one that we kind of mimicked off a Tango Tech design, except with his original one, he had a one gap space there. And I'm sure if any of you have ever seen his LP, he was complaining about how they'd get stuck and not drop down, but throwing in the 2-block system. Never had that issue, and actually sometimes it's easy to accidentally knock them off.
With the changes coming in 1.8 after what I've seen on the snapshot, because we won't be able to get a villager with an infinite paper trade, the system in here will actually be quite useful. We can just press a button and it'll shove the villagers off into their death, essentially. So we can cycle villagers once they've run through their usefulness.
As I am about to show here. So I'm not going to trade 3 emeralds for a pair of shears.
We can go out to mine. Because of my real-life work schedule, I actually haven't been on the server too much since we started it. I definitely do more enjoy building projects than any of these giant farms that I have built or helped build in the spawn. So it's, where I'm at now is pretty much just a labor of love for me. Been thinking about doing a Let's Play of it on my own channel. To plug my own Let's Play channel, that is the Night Hammer. So far, I've just got a couple of games up there. Jurassic Park Trespasser. I'm currently going through Arma Cold War Assault. I've also got Half-Life, but I'm planning on re-recording and re-uploading that because the audio quality on it is horrible. Links in the description.
Yes, most definitely. And I also have a permalink to the Night Hammer, is one of my featured YouTube channels on my channel, as well as Ghost LPs, another good friend of ours that does a lot of LPs.
Alright, so this is my area. I have a basic work shed here, made out of dirt. It's nothing fancy. And I have a small wheat farm in the back. All of the trees, all of the spruce trees around here are actually trees that I have planted and grown because I require a lot of spruce for my builds. Because I like spruce, I prefer it. This would be the entrance to what is going to be my grand mine.
Wow, you have definitely made progress on it since the last time I was here, though.
This is going to be the main entrance hall. It's flanked by some balconies up there. I haven't really figured out how to get anything up there. If there's any dirt in here, it's actually just some scaffolding for me to work on, but I'm planning on doing a couple of things. I'm going to have 3 wings to it. I'm going to have 1 wing that's going to go off. I'm going to actually prepare some rooms for all of the server members so that they all will have a place to stay. Straight is going to head down deeper, and I'm actually going to build an actual village down there with villagers that'll spawn iron golems. I'm going to have a very large village down there with the correct amount of doors to villager ratio and all that. So my little city that I'm going to build down there will be a little bit more populated. And I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do with this other area. But I've got plans. And another large project that will have to be done once I work on this some more is this lake actually leads to a river. I'm about, what is it, 15 or 1700 blocks north of spawn.
That's about right.
I think these river systems might actually connect up with the ocean near spawn, so I'm eventually going to touch it up so that, you know, you can take a boat and take a scenic route down here. But there's really not a lot here. I guess there's only one part of the build over here that I haven't really explained. It would be this cobblestone structure. This is my Endermen combating platform. I really hate those buggers. I was pretty sure I was going to put towers on the roof, but now that I look at it, now that it's getting closer to complete, I'm not sure if I'm going to put towers up there or just put a roof up there. Not yet sure exactly what I'm going to do, but we'll see as we go along.
Oh yeah, and the animal farm down below the villager tunnel.
Oh, I can't believe we forgot about that. This was another work by Solerei.
We went through and built up some nice little pens, color-coded the stained glass for all the different colors of sheep that you can have. And I still believe we have not found a jungle biome yet.
The elusive jungle biome. Mesas are far more common on our seed.
So once we get some cocoa beans, we'll actually be able to have some brown sheep. Yeah, so that would be the Whitestar server. Still making some progress, some more builds. As the Nighthammer already mentioned, I'm doing an LP that's building up a new base. It's way out and away from spawn. So feel free to check that out. Feel free to check out Nighthammer's channel. As I said, he's got a few things up there, as he's already mentioned as well. Yeah, that pretty much covers the Whitestar server.
Thanks for watching.
MMH Tsunami out.